Nashorn, initially known as Hornisse, was a German tank destroyer of World War II. It was developed as an interim solution in 1942 by equipping a light turretless chassis based on the Panzer III and Panzer IV tanks with the 8.8 cm Pak 43 anti-tank gun. Though only lightly armored and displaying a high profile, it could penetrate the front armor of any Allied tank at long range, and its relatively low cost and superior mobility to heavier vehicles ensured it remained in production until the war's end. After the first German experiences with the newer Soviet tanks like the T-34 medium tank or the Kliment-Voroshilov heavy tank during Operation Barbarossa, the need for a Panzerjäger capable of destroying these more heavily armored tanks became clear. In February 1942, the Alkit arms firm of Berlin designed a tank destroyer using their recently developed Geschitzwagen chassis which, as its name indicated, used components of both the Panzer III and Panzer IV medium tanks. The 8.8 cm 43/1L/71 a long-barreled anti-tank gun also used, as the 8.8 cm KWK-43, for the main armament of the Tiger II tank was mounted on the rear of the chassis complete with its gun shield, and an open-topped superstructure was built up around the gun to give the crew some protection. The gun had the same traverse and elevation as if it had been on its carriage, 15 degrees to either side and between -5 degrees and +15 degrees elevation. To accommodate the long and heavy gun, the hull had to be lengthened and the engine moved from the rear to the center of the chassis. The amount of armor provided for the crew compartment was limited. The shielding provided was adequate to protect the crew from blast and small arms, but not armor-piercing rounds. Thus, like the Martyr series, the vehicle was not intended to engage in tank fights, but to provide mobility to a powerful anti-tank gun.
Hummel was a German self-propelled gun used by the Wehrmacht during World War II, based on the Panzer III and IV chassis and armed with the 15 cm SFH-18 1L30 howitzer. It saw action from early 1943 until the end of the war. On February 27, 1944, Hitler ordered the name Hummel to be dropped as it was deemed inappropriate for a fighting vehicle. The Hummel was designed in 1942 after the invasion of the USSR had demonstrated the need for more capable self-propelled artillery support for Wehrmacht tank forces than those that were available at the time. Powerful 15 cm SFH-18 L30 howitzer on the specially designed Panzer III and IV, which combined the driving and steering system of the Panzer III with the chassis, suspension, and engine of the Panzer IV. The same platform was also used for the Nashorn tank destroyer. The engine was moved to the center of the vehicle to make room for an open-topped lightly armored fighting compartment at the rear housing the gun breech and crew. The Hummel first participated in large-scale combat at the Battle of Kursk, when some 100 served in armored artillery battalions of the Panzer divisions. They were formed into separate heavy self-propelled artillery batteries, each with 6 Hummel and 1 ammunition carrier. Late models had a slightly redesigned driver compartment and front superstructure offering more room to the radio operator and driver. In all, some 700 Hummel were built. Foreign use of the Hummel was extremely limited. During WW to the Soviet Union deployed captured vehicles. Post-war only, 3 nations are known to have acquired the gun: Czechoslovakia, Romania and Syria. Romania received 1 unit from the Red Army after the war ended. All German armor in Romania was later phased out in 1950, and finally scrapped by 1954, the Army deciding on the sole use of Soviet tanks and armoured fighting vehicles instead.